Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really big question. When we talk about our life's journey, what are we actually searching for? We're going to explore the idea of travel, our own sense of self, and this concept of a trust that's bigger than any of us. Let's get into it.
We're going to start with this old Turkish proverb. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a call to adventure, right? Go see the world. And Konya, a city just filled with history and spirit, is definitely a destination worth seeing. But what if the proverb isn't just about a place on a map? What if Konya stands for something else entirely? And that is the real question we're getting into today. What if the journeys that change us the most aren't about crossing borders, but about exploring the uncharted territory inside our own heads, our own hearts?
So, to get our heads around this, the source material breaks travel down into two kinds. You've got the journey we take out there in the world, and then there's the one we take inside ourselves. Okay, so the outer journey, that's pretty straightforward, right? New places, new faces, new foods. We get it. But the source material really wants us to focus on the inner journey, the one where we navigate our own character. And here's the real kicker. That outer journey isn't just about getting cool souvenirs. It's supposed to be the training ground for this much deeper and honestly, much harder journey within.
So what does an inner journey even look like? Trust me, you've been on one. It's that feeling when you're completely lost in a great book. That's an intellectual journey. Or it's that emotional ride you go on when a piece of art or music just hits you in a certain way. But the source argues these are kind of like waypoints. The real destination for any kind of journey is the ethical and moral one.
It really all boils down to this one thing. Whether you're climbing an actual mountain or just wrestling with a tough new idea, the purpose is exactly the same. Every single journey is a chance to refine who we are. That's the real goal. That's the Konya we're all trying to get to.
Okay, but this whole idea of refining ourselves, well, it brings up a really tricky problem. After you've worked hard and achieved something on your journey, how are you supposed to talk about it? How do you acknowledge what you did without falling into that ego trap?
So you might think, easy. If boasting is bad, I'll just never talk about myself. But not so fast. The philosopher Nietzsche had something to say about this. He argued that pretending you had zero role in your own success isn't real humility. He called it a noble hypocrisy, basically a lie, even if it's a well-intentioned one. So we can't just ignore the self. We have to figure out a smarter way to handle it.
So this leaves us stuck, right? Caught between two traps. On one side, you've got the ego trap. I did it all by myself. And on the other, you've got the humility trap. Oh, it was nothing. I did nothing. The source material says both of these are just wrong. They're not the truth. So what's the way out?
This is where the source material gives us a really powerful framework to find that middle path. It's a way to balance how we see things using just three little words, I, we, and he, with he representing a higher divine power.
All right, first up is the I. And this is a total reframe. The idea here is that you don't actually own your talents or your willpower. You're a trustee. Think of it like this. Your skills, your drive, your intelligence, it's all a trust that's been placed in your care. Your job is to use it, to put in the work, but always remember you're the guardian, not the owner.
Okay, so after I, we have we. And this is what reminds us that our I, our personal trust, doesn't just exist in a bubble. We have a responsibility to our community, to our family, to other people. It forces us to see that pretty much every achievement is connected to others in some way. It's a team sport.
And the last piece of this puzzle is he, which stands for the ultimate source. In this way of thinking, that's God. Now this part draws a really important line in the sand. We are responsible for our effort. We have to show up and do the work. But the source is the creator of the outcome. This lets you take full ownership of your actions while giving the credit for the final result back to where it truly came from.
Okay, so we've got the framework. I is the trust, we is the responsibility, and he is the source. But what does that actually look like in real life? How do we use it as our true north, day in and day out?
This all adds up to what the source calls the traveler's mindset. It means you start seeing every challenge not as a problem, but as a test. And every test is a chance to step up. It means you act with purpose, you speak with a balance of humility and wisdom, and you always attribute your success to its true source. It's not just a way to talk, it's a way to live.
And this one idea, it just reframes everything, doesn't it?
We're not just people walking on a path. No, we are the travelers, and the path itself, our life, our talents, our opportunities, that whole thing is the trust that's been placed in our hands.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question. Whether it's an outer journey to some new place you've always wanted to see, or an inner one towards becoming a better version of yourself, what journey is calling you right now? And how are you going to travel?